Good evening, Coaching U4U family. Thank you for joining me here this evening. I hope everybody's planning for a great day with family and friends tomorrow, and that you'll be thankful for the opportunity. A lot of people would love to celebrate with family and friends and are not able to do it. If you have that opportunity, just be grateful for it. My name is Annette Lartigue, and I am your host here at Coaching U4U. Thanks for joining me this evening. We are on audio tonight, and I'd like to share a life hack with you, and it is simply this. If you put your strength and hope into believing in yourself, the game's going to change for you automatically. It happens really just like that. Welcome aboard tonight. And again, I wish each and every one of you a healthy, happy, and prosperous Family and Friends Day tomorrow. When the odds are against us, believing in ourselves is really the game changer. It is. It makes all the difference in the world because it does some things for us from the inside out when we believe in ourselves. And you got to remember that from time to time, everybody has a little bit of stinking thinking, and that stinking thinking can pollute your system. So be mindful of that, how you think, feel, and believe about you. Calm down. So often when everything's not in our favor right at that time, we panic. We don't have to figure everything out. Here's what I learned. Here's my experience. I learned in my most difficult moments, if I would just breathe and take the time to assess where I was, what was happening, and how I could deal with it, what my strengths and weaknesses were in that situation. It made all the difference in the world. And what I want you to know tonight is just remembering to calm down will change the game for you all by itself. Stop panicking when everything is not going just as you think it should be. We talk about putting love on top. Put your belief on top. Your belief in yourself. Put that on top first. And a lot of other things are going to fall in place. I only know this because I've experienced it. I've experienced being in situations that were really, really tough for me, and the odds were completely against me, as well as many other people. And one of the things I remembered was I had to believe in myself first. If I allowed other people to take control of what I believed and what I thought about me, it would destroy me. And that's a fact. And I knew that. And it is believing in myself and calming down, exhaling and breathing, and taking a full assessment of where I was, what my strengths and weaknesses were in that particular situation. I was able to get through a lot of things. And I'm telling you, I've been in the water with barracudas, snakes, alligators, you name it. People who were simply intent on destroying me and my reputation simply because they didn't know who I was and couldn't get to the inner circle. But as long as I believed in myself, I was okay. And it doesn't mean I didn't have difficult times. We all have difficult times. That's just simply life. Life gonna roll on us sooner or later, one way or the other, and it's okay. Nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. My family's not perfect. My finances aren't perfect. You know, um, it's just not a perfect atmosphere, but it's the best I have, and so I work within it. I've had my ups and I've had my downs, and I promise you, every single time I was down, as long as I believed in myself, I got back up. As long as I remembered that anything I focused on was going to expand, either to work against me if it was negative, or to work in my favor if I believed in myself and it was positive. Whatever I focused on, expanded. And once I got that and put together a few other things, that was good. I learned not to focus on, you know, business that wasn't my business. That made the difference. So knowing that what I focused on would expand, I tried to focus on the things that would help me get through some of the most difficult times in my life. Death, betrayal, friend enemies, bad coworkers, bad business partners, and bad politics. Focusing on what worked best for me and believing in myself expanded my self confidence. And that's a plus about believing in yourself. It expands your self confidence. And all of us, can use affirmations and boost to our self confidence. We need that. Not cocky, but confident. And then the other thing I realized was I didn't have to figure everything out right then either. I didn't have to solve every single problem right then. If I just took my time, believed in myself, and focused on the things that I could work with, it changed the game. It expanded, not just my horizon, but my self confidence, my self esteem, my ability to deal with very tough situations. So I learned that instead of trying to figure everything out, you know, instead of trying to figure out the future, I had to play a significant role in helping to create it. That was a game changer for me, too. So just take your time. Again, I'm Annette Lartigue. I'm your host here at COACHINGU4U. See us on Facebook. See us everywhere there's podcasting. We want to meet you there. Whatever you choose, we're going to be somewhere near you with our podcast. See us on YouTube. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Tell somebody about us. This is one of those times we want you to put all of our business in the street. I didn't have to predict my future. I didn't have to predict the outcome. All I had to do was believe in myself and allow my thinking to expand to the positive. Because I knew early what I believed, what I told myself, I was going to believe. Whatever I told myself, I was going to believe. And I knew that. And I wasn't afraid to reach. One of the things I've learned too is, you know, if you're not willing to reach for it, if you're not willing to go after things that you think might be bigger and better than you, you're never going to get bigger and better than you. Remember that. That was my lesson. In reaching for the things I reached for, I was a girl from the neighborhood. I grew up with very, very, very humble beginnings, but I was loved and I was taken care of. And it wasn't perfect, but it was real good. And a lot of, that self confidence and that self esteem was built early on in those years. And in my teen years, I suffered again and took a hit, built back up, got to college, and went through some other difficult things. So I'm telling you, it's a process. It's not a destination. Believing in yourself is a journey. And I've always been willing to take that journey and not be afraid to reach for what I wanted. I absolutely reached out of my comfort zone, and it wasn't always comfortable, but it took me places I'd never been before. And all of it was either a lesson or a blessing. I learned, and I'm telling you, I learned, and I learned, the hard way, making my bones in terms of, my experience and the things that I've had the opportunity to do was difficult. I had a few bones broken in the process, emotionally and mentally, not physically, but emotionally and mentally, because everything is not always going to work to our favor. I learned that. And in learning that, sometimes I suffered, but I believed in myself. And one of the other things I learned is that what I seek will seek me. So, every now and then I do some reading and research about some things. And one of the things I learned in acquiring my addiction certification many years ago is that the people you surround yourself with are the people who infiltrate your mind. And you might think that doesn't happen, but take a look at your circle and see how great the impact is. It's real. And psychologically, we tend to assume bad and good behaviors based on the people we deal with on a regular basis. Now, whether you like it or not, it's a fact. And I know because I've experienced it. I knew that when I was around negative people who were gossiping and doing certain things, I didn't feel good. And sometimes I started to gossip too. As soon as I removed myself from that, as soon as I found my circle to heal, and we're going to talk about that in another podcast, you know, the game changed for me. And again, it was a journey. It wasn't a destination. It was something I had to continuously do in order to grow. So what I was seeking also was seeking me. That means association leads to assimilation. And you got to know that. People you deal with are going to have a tremendous impact on your life one way or the other. So be careful in believing yourself. And the other thing is, I learned in believing in myself, I had to stop allowing people to exploit my weaknesses. And we all have them. I had to learn to stop letting people exploit my weaknesses. For example, if I'm a shop, well, okay, whatever. I was a shopaholic, and it started early on, and I had a real problem with it. And whenever I would try to get away from it, there were people in my life who wanted to shop, who wanted to do, just shop, high end, just shop. And I didn't care, whether it was high end or low end. I just wanted to make the purchase. And as I was trying to move away from that addiction, and it was an addiction, being with people who were into that, into spending money and doing things, and sometimes money we didn't have, I did the same thing. So your circle matters. What you seek seeks you. Stop letting people exploit your weaknesses in the areas where you know that you're weak. Build a hedge around that. Build a hedge around that and get help from people who are willing to help you, not people who are willing to take advantage of the fact that you are weak in those areas. If you're romantic, a man who doesn't have good intentions might try to use that against you. If, you know, one of your weaknesses is you can't say no to people, and you tell people that because you want to help people. I'm telling you, people are going to exploit that weakness. If they know that you have difficulty saying no, you're always going to be the go-to person. So you have to trust yourself. You have to, protect yourself, and you have to not let people exploit you, and they will. You can do all of this, just put your heart and your mind into it. The benefits of believing in myself was I understood, you know, uh, that my self confidence depended on it. It brought me a closer to my success because I believed in myself. I believed I could do things I hadn't done before if I would do my homework, pay attention, and let people teach me who knew what I wanted to know. That's what believing in myself brought me. That's how it brought me closer to my success, giving myself an opportunity to be, taught. It inspired me. Believing in myself inspired me. These are some of the pluses. It inspired me, and it attributed to me um, making and understanding the difference between believing in myself and not believing in myself. So I had to practice it. And I talk to you all the time about having to practice things over and over again. I have to practice these things. They don't just come automatically to me. I'm not a genius. I work hard at learning things. What I know, I know. What I don't know, I am absolutely willing to learn. And that's because I believe in my ability to learn. The other thing I learned, and part of believing in myself, was that failure is temporary, but it is sometimes, often, a part of the process. And once I realized that and recognized that, I was able to do some things a little bit different. It also helped me understand that if I allowed negative thoughts to rule my world, I couldn't put my belief in myself on top. Hey, put your belief on top. Like you put your love on top, put your belief on top. I am Annette Lartigue. I am your host here at Coaching You for You. I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I want to remind you that we are everywhere you might want to find a podcast. Look us up, Coaching You for You. Inhale the inspiration and share some of it. Put our business in the street. Tap that like button. Tap the subscribe button on YouTube, tap the share button, and ring the bell. Have a great evening and thanks for joining us tonight. Put your belief in yourself on top. Have a great evening.